Is this a start of a run for the Raptors? Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host Atisham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. And it's been a while since I've made a video, being sick and all that crap, and honestly the Raptors were losing. And they weren't looking like a good team, but for the past two games they have done well, and that is what I'm going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's talk the Raptors. So the Raptors were on a 6-game losing skid. Now some of them were buzzer beaters and some of them were just outright destruction of the Raptors, and the Raptors looked they didn't look good, right? They didn't look like on the same page. They didn't look like they had chemistry. Lots of people were coming in and out of the lineup due to injuries. Gary Trent was being benched. Precious hasn't been available at all. Gary was sick. So a lot of things were happening, and it led to the Raptors losing a lot of games, even though there were some bright spots, which included Pascal Siakam, who's been playing like an all-star. But the Raptors were struggling, and especially from the three-point line, which I'll get to. The Raptors were just, not doing well. But for the past two games, especially since OG Anunoby has come back into the lineup, the Raptors are doing better. They beat the Knicks, 2 days ago. And today they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Against the Knicks, Pascal Siakam put up a 52-point game. Freddie had about 26 points. Everybody else contributed around, and the defense was really, really good. They didn't let Randall get going. Barrett scored some points, but they weren't effective to a certain point. Quickly was 5 or 6 from the three. You can't really do anything about that. But the Raptors never gave up, which is something that I've seen them do well on the offensive end as well as the defensive end throughout their losing streak even. But the Raptors look good against the Knicks, and today they were playing Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the third best record in the NBA, and I think they sit third on the Eastern Conference or second. I didn't check, but that's a good team. They're number one defensively. So the Raptors came out guns a-blazing. Everybody, was sharing the ball. The ball was moving. So the offense looked really, really good because there were open shots coming in. People, even though we're still struggling with our three-point shot, we were able to make them today. OG was going after it. I think four of our, other than Hernan Gomez, who honestly I believe has done a very, very good job as the 5 and deserves to continue to start there until we can get a center, but I'll get to that point later on. We put up 20. I think everybody put up above 20, including Scotty Barnes, who's been struggling on the road a lot. And then we held their starters to below 20 man. And Donovan Mitchell had 12 points, so that was damn good. So offensively, the Raptors are starting to improve because they're starting to attack the basket a lot more. They're sharing the ball a lot more. It seems like the two smaller guard lineup that Nick Nurse is putting out there with Malachi Flynn and Fred VanVleet, it's kind of acting like that Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet lineup that we had. So it's helping them move the ball, make the right decisions, and it's helping Malachi become more of an effective bench player, which I'm liking, that Nick Nurse is believing in him, giving him the minutes. But what's happening on that thing what's worrying me on the offensive end for the Raptors is our three-point shooting. The three-point shooting has been garbage. We are number 30th in the league, even though we are doing very good on the defensive end, and I'll get to that. Shooting, if you can't make threes in this league, you're not going to win a lot of games. You might win a few, but you're not going to win a championship out of it. So that's really worrisome, especially the guys that are struggling are like Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., and Pascal and Scotty weren't really ever too great of three-point shooters, so you can't count them in, even though Pascal is shooting it well. OG is he's been consistent in his three-point shots. He's had games every now and then where he's struggled, but overall as a team, the Raptors are really struggling, and that honestly has to do with the personnel that we have on the offensive end. Thad Young isn't a good 3-point shooter. Chris Boucher comes up. His technique isn't really great, so he's going to be inconsistent every now and then. Malachi's getting better, but not as great. So that's really worrisome. But the Raptors are still doing well on the offensive end because of second chance points, their hustle, and now finally starting to share the ball. There was a lot of dribble crap going on for the Raptors during the 6-game losing streak. But that's, gone. It seems like it's gone for these 2 games, but let's see what happens on Tuesday. And the brightest spot on the offensive end for the Raptors is Pascal Siakam. This guy is playing like an all-NBA player. He is carrying us. There's been games where he scored more than 30 points and we still lost and things like that, but he carried us throughout those games, made us competitive. And against the Knicks at the Garden, man, he showed up. He put up 52 points. But another worry on the offensive end that I'm seeing is that Gary Trent Jr. isn't getting much minutes. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on with Nick Nurse, why all of a sudden Gary Trent Jr. is in the shithole. But that's a guy who's always cheering people on, who deserves a little bit more. Yes, he's struggling, but he'll come out of it. His decision making hasn't always been the best, but today it was, because even whenever he didn't have a shot, you would see him putting it up, trying to shoot it. But today he passed it on. He had 9 points, but he only played 19 minutes. So he needs a little bit more belief from Nick Nurse, especially if you're looking to keep him. But if you're not looking to keep him, which is seeming very, very close because of his expiring contract, we better get a haul out of it. And for us to get a haul for him, he needs to play. So that's another worry that I have. But I would rather see Gary Trent stay and Nick Nurse believe in him and get him the minutes he needs to come out of the rut. Same thing with Scotty Barnes. So now on the defensive end, the Raptors are doing very well. They were really struggling on the defensive end. We were giving away, I think, averaging 106 to 108 points on the defensive end during the 6-game losing streak. And the Raptors have stepped up. They're holding teams down, below 104 points. They're doing, like today they had 107, but that was garbage time. But they're doing really, really well. And the Raptors are, looking more in sync ever since OG Anunoby came in there. The only, worries I have on the defensive end is that the Raptors are a team that put their hands in the cookie jar a lot. And, it might end up costing us, especially guys like Harden, guys like, Nikola Jokic. Those guys get a lot of call, Luka Doncic. So those games, this type of defense, the Raptors might end up struggling because they're going to end up putting the person on the, the free throw line a lot. But overall, the Raptors are playing very well on the defensive end. Defense has never been an issue. It was during the 6-game losing streak because they just didn't seem like they were on the same page. And Hernan Gomez is playing his mind, like he's playing his ass off, especially without a center for the Raptors. On the defensive end, he's always rebounding, he's banging with the big bodies and doing everything he can possibly do to help the Raptors win. So he's a good addition to the Raptors, but I still have that worry that the Raptors do need a center, especially a 3-point shooting center, because what that would allow the Raptors to do on the offensive end is to space the floor. The Raptors look like a different team when Marc Gasol was playing with us. He was a big body, but he was also a 3-point threat. Yes, in the bubble he sucked ass, but before that on a championship run, that was what we had. And that is what we need. You can play 4 big guys from the power forward position to the point guard position, but we do need that center because the teams just good teams get into the paint a lot on us, and it's not great. And we're always having to smack the ball out of their hand, foul them and do those things, which is going to cost us, especially if we get into the playoffs somehow. And I'm hoping we do, because the Raptors are taking the right steps, kind of like Scotty. He's doing better. He didn't do good against the Knicks, but today he had a good road game. Hopefully that gives him confidence to move, for the next game. So overall, it was a while since I made the game a video on the Raptors, and I wanted to summarize overall the struggles that the Raptors were having, what they might have, and what they're starting to do well now, because there's no point in just analyzing one game at a time because each game is different. But the Raptors overall, from those 6 games to what we saw in the last 2 games, there has been a considerable difference. And another last thing that has been a considerable difference is Nick Nurse. He's a lot more calmer. He's not acting like a complete idiot. It seems like he's together now. The players are, back to normalcy with him. And it's looking better for the Raptors overall. And I hope we beat the Clippers on Tuesday. So that's what I have for you guys for this video. If I missed something, talk to me in the comment section. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I will continue to make videos. I will see you guys next time.